Great day, everyone. How are you doing today? This is Diamond McNulty. I want to welcome y'all to the Overnight Success Podcast. As you know, I'm your host, worldwide mentor, the creator of the Success Club, founder and CEO of McNulty International, and I'm extremely excited to have y'all join me today. So the Overnight Success Podcast, for those of you who are new to it, is simple. It's to help high school and college students focus on success, achieving their goals in life, and hopefully we inspire some adults as well, right? We want to let you know that success is simple. And today we have an amazing guest. So I'm excited. Today we have Robert Cage. Now, his name speaks for itself, right? Founder and CEO of Joy Jano. Born in Rochester, New York, right? Moved to Atlanta in 2003. But he's been pursuing his passion. He's been an innovator, a creator, and he created an amazing product, amazing brand called Joy Jano. So without further ado, everyone, I want to welcome Robert. Join us. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me on today. Appreciate you.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you. Your story speaks for itself. It's amazing. And I'm excited about your product and your creation, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm excited about it. It's a wonderful product we created for children, and I can't wait for the world to see it.
So, Rob, before we even get into Joy Jano, let's take it back to the beginning of time, right? So tell me your story. How did you navigate the pathway of New York to make your way to Atlanta to bringing this to life?
Born and raised, so I would never choose any other place over New York, but Atlanta weather is definitely much better. So I've been here for the last 21 years, 20 years, something like that. So I kind of fell in love with Atlanta. I still go back home to visit my mom, still there, still got family there. But what really brought me here, like I said, was college. I got my bachelor's here in fashion design. I came down here from AIU Buckhead, and the reason I came to here because honestly, it was just a luck of the draw. I had a friend who said he was in fashion, he was going to attend school here, and I was like, well, I'll come down there as well. I actually came to here before he came, and he actually never enrolled, so he never showed up. So I was already here. I was like, well, I'm just going to stay here. I like the school, I like the city, and I kind of fell in love with it. But that's what brought me down here. Design school. I've been designing clothes since I can remember. Well, just painting shirts when I was in high school. I was painting shirts, painting jeans, and just have my own little style.
So how was your upbringing? How was your household? Mom, dad, brothers and sisters?
It was a typical household, my mom, my dad. I got two sisters. I don't have any brothers. We're real close in this family. So I was an Army kid. So I lived in Germany for a couple of years. My dad traveled around the world. So I was in Germany from 11 to 13. So I did fifth and sixth grade there in Germany. It was cool. We lived on an Army base on a post. So it was fun. I would definitely say it was fun. It was different, but it was fun.
So you were in Germany as a young man coming up. How was that?
No, it was cool. I would say what was different about it was I lived on a post. Which, if anyone know anything about the Army and growing up as an Army kid, the post is everybody's there. You're around other Americans yourself, so we didn't really experience the natives of the country of Germans until we actually went a couple miles out from where we lived at and went downtown, and that's when you seen everybody else. You got the real German experience of what the hell what the city was about, what the country was about. But it was fun. It was unique. It was there was no speed limit. I'll say that. So my dad he tested that a couple of times on the highway doing it. Was called the autobahn. So I was a little nervous. He doing 120, 100. You see cars flying past you. It's like, slow down. But it was cool. It was cool. It was cool to go there. Then we went to travel back to New York sometime. Then we fly back to Germany. And those plane rides as a kid, you like the long plane rides. You get to go while you're playing, get the big screen TV. You get to eat some good food. I would say one plane ride was a little different. It was called a hop. When we got on the army aircraft that had no windows. So the whole 10-hour flight, it was this little space because under the plane they was carrying tanks and stuff like that. So most people won't travel that type of airplane, but it was a cargo plane. There was no windows. It was like 10 seats in this huge plane. So that was different.
So at what age did you make your way back to New York to stay?
To stay, I was between 13 and 14. I think it was
Okay.
14 years old. That's when I was about to start seventh grade.
Okay, so there we go. So as a young man, your army, your father was in the army. Y'all traveling back. That's great because you got exposure at a young age.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
right before you entered high school, as you mentioned, you came back to New York, and here you are, a creative young man. Take it back, right? So we want to empower high schoolers. In high school, what was your thought process? So how did you take that pathway, and what was your mindset in high school?
And it's funny you said because a true story. When I was in high school, I was back. This is like '96. Timberlands was real big in New York, of course. And I had a job. My first job, I worked at Arby's. Then I went to a nursing home, and I didn't have any bills. So I used to get paid every 2 weeks, and every time I get paid, I just go buy me a new pair of Timbs. And I knew an individual who had a shoe repair shop, and he used to dye them for me. So I had different color Timbs. I had a red color, I had a blue color, I had green color. At one point, I had 20. No, I had 20 different pair of Timberlands, all different colors. And I had friends who would come by, and after what they got stained, I'll start wearing them. I just give them away because I just kept buying new ones. And then I left the Timberlands and went and I bought all white Air Force One. They think this is new now. I was doing this back in 1996. I could get the low top all white Air Force Ones, and I was having them dyed every 2 weeks. So it was funny because I had another individual in my school his name was Andre, and he and I was the battle between who was to come to school with whose shoes with different colors. So every week I'd come to school with another pair of Air Force Ones.
Were extremely creative. You were above all in fashion, and that's New York, right? New York has
Yeah.
fashion down pat. That style. Okay, so tell me about your transition from high school to college.
Well, from high school to college, I went to community college first. So honestly, that was like 13, like high school all over again. I think I graduated in the summertime. By the time fall came around, I was right back into like community college. I was maybe 6, 7 miles from my school. So it just felt like it was school. It seemed like it was high school again. So honestly, I didn't really like that experience. I can be honest because I felt like, man, I didn't felt like I didn't do enough in high school to leave, if that makes sense. I said I had some of my friends who was in other states, who was going to big universities, and here I was in community college, which was fine because it was a good school. I did learn there, but the experience that I felt like I didn't do enough in high school to go beyond where I wanted to go at. So I did my first
Mm.
year and a half there, and I got then I transferred to school in Albany, New York, and I can say that's when my college really, really started. I got the college experience when I was living on campus and just being away from home and really being in college and just being a young adult. That's when my college life really took off for me and I really enjoyed the experience. And from then, I got my associate degree there. And I left there, and then I came to New York. I came to Atlanta and got my bachelor's degree a couple of months later. What I didn't like about it, because being
Got
18
it.
years old and going to college, I wanted to go away, but I couldn't go away because one of my grades wasn't that well, so I had to stay there, and so that's what I didn't like. The fact when I was in school, I didn't do my high school, I didn't get my grades up, so I had to do 2 years here first before I can go on and to a
Got
better
it.
college that I you know.
Got it. Oh, that's great. So what advice would you give high schoolers now looking back on your journey?
keep your Don't play around. Don't try your best not to be a C student because if you are, I mean, if you are, then there's nothing you can do about that. But it is. I mean, you can study a little bit harder, but try your best to get a good 3.8 average so you can go on to a school that you really want to go to so you can have that college experience away from the home. If you want to live on campus, if you want to, if you want to draw, if you're a sorority a frat fraternity, or just have it and go around young adults, young professionals who's finally leaving the nest, who's going home and just who's leaving home and really enjoy that, enjoy the college experience that you see on TV, that you see others having when they're in these big basketball games, these big football games, on the universities. Like you want to experience that if you have the opportunity to, versus
Mm.
not. Because honestly being in the college I did go to, it was good to learn, but it was kind of like it wasn't a lot of inspiration there too that I seen other people thriving or just wanted to be successful because it just felt like high school all over again.
Mm. So that's important, right? Looking back, when you're in high school, it's only a 4-year window when you're starting until you're finishing, and
Right,
in that timeline, you got to make relationships count. You got to pay attention. You got to execute because
right.
before you know it, that freshman year turns into that senior year, and then now, if you haven't done the things that you should have done, you can miss opportunities.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's extremely important. Okay, so now we're navigating from high school. We figured it out. We're in community college. Okay, so walk me through your college journey.
Well, like I said, my first year in college, my first year and a half, I was in community college, and it's called MCC in Rochester, New York. I'm from Rochester, New York. So it's a accredited school. So you definitely I took liberal arts there because they did not have they didn't have fashion there. They did not have what I wanted to go to school for. So I took liberal arts, which is just getting my math and getting my social studies, getting those credits out the way. So once I was done with those credits, then I transferred to another school in another part of New York, which is about 4 hours away from where I was at. So that I was able to live on campus then and just really have the real college experience. So then once I was there at that school, that's when I can say my college life really kicked off and me really beginning on a journey for what I really wanted to become in life, which was to go to school for design and marketing.
Great. So now you're transitioning into design. You've done the work, right? You went to community college. You've done the work that you needed to do, and now you're focused on entering into a space that you're passionate about, right? So you've always been passionate about design. So where did that passion come from?
Honestly, if I can say where it came from, I can't really pinpoint where it came from. But what I will say is this: when I did live in Germany, I lived in a complex, which was an 8 level complex, and I was about 12 years old, and it was two sides of the building, 8 floors on this side, 8 floors on this side, and I went to each door and asked them if they allow me to sweep if they allow me to sweep them out in front of their doorstep, would they pay me $10 a month? And they said they would. So I did that, and once I got my first check, I went and bought my first pair of Jordans. So I think that what really set me up. Like that was my first thing I ever brought for myself, and it was a pair of sneakers. So that was like I gained money. I was gonna get shoes. So that started me on the journey to starting to purchase fashion and being able to choose what I was gonna buy versus what mom and dad was gonna give me. So that's I think I can say if I say anything started it, that's probably started it right there.
Wow. So when you purchased those shoes, what was that feeling that you had when you went into the store with your own money and you had them? Was it that? What was that awakening? Was it a light that went off?
So yeah, it definitely set off a chain reaction of my own style coming into play.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so now you're in fashion. How was the how was your experience day to day in the classes, and actually did it match up, right? Did your vision of what you thought college was going to be as far as your fashion and entering your passion, and did you learn the things needed to take it to the next level?
Both yes and no. I'll say that. Without going to fashion school, what I realized quickly was it's a lot of people who can do what you do, and a lot of different styles of people that can do what you do. And it was very competition based, which I did like because not being in a school like that, you're kind of the one who people look to for certain type of styles. But once I got into that school and I seen everybody was doing this on different stages. You had females who was doing it, you had males that was doing it. You had a lot. So it was cool. It was cool to be around. It was cool to collaborate and with other kids as well. And it was basically we had different assignments to see who would come up with which. So it was very a lot of competition. Once especially we seen this individual was good at this and he was good at this, and everybody was wearing had some style of their own brand. Now everybody had a brand back then, a t-shirt line. So they come to school with their different brands on. So that was good. So that's what I would say I did expect. What I didn't expect was I would say this in school I didn't take fashion school as serious as I should have. Being so kids listen up. when you get to school, don't play around, take it serious. It's not for the games because I did not. They taught me. They was trying to teach me so much. They were trying to teach me how to sew, how to create patterns, everything a designer would need, but I was not interested in learning any of that. I thought I knew it. I don't need to sew. I'm gonna have somebody else sew it. I'm the creative brain, right? So I always had ideas. So I always had the sketch. I always had the vision. I didn't want to know the work. I didn't want to figure out the work. So I didn't do good in those classes, not because I couldn't, but because I didn't want to learn it. I didn't really, don't teach me this. I do enough to pass, but I didn't really care about it. And that's something I look back on now. I wish I really, really would have paid attention to because it was a huge setback, especially in this industry, because you kind of need to know it. And it's a lot of jobs. It's a lot of jobs in the fashion industry that comes just for people who know how to do those things. You don't have to have the ideas. You don't have to be the creative individual. Somebody else can be the creative, but they need somebody to make the patterns for them. Or they need somebody who know how to sketch real good. It's a job just in drawing the clothes. And a lot of these things I didn't want to learn because I was like, I got the ideas. I have the vision. So I would say that's the part that threw me off. But the biggest thing I did learn while being there, it introduced me to Photoshop, introduced me to Illustrator, which I still use to this day. So I can say I left school with that knowledge. That's the knowledge they definitely gave me in college was introduced me to those programs.
Hello, my name is Diamond McNulty, and I want to welcome you to the McNulty International Success Club, where we help youth and adults create their personal success plans to achieve their dreams in life. Visit McNultyInternational.com today and register, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all inside the boardroom. Now, enjoy the rest of the episode. How long did you go to fashion school? Was it 2 years or 4 years?
Oh, it was 4 years.
Okay, so 4 years. You're in and out. Now you're entering into the workforce. What did that look like?
Into the work at the school. I didn't go into fashion. I went into regular survival mode. I got a regular. I needed a job to pay bills. I didn't go into fashion at all. I didn't have any. I didn't have a job. I had an opportunity in the fashion. It was good for me. But like I said, I didn't take it as serious as I supposed to. So a lot of the things that I needed when I left, I didn't have because I didn't take the pattern, the draping serious. I didn't know it no more. I didn't take all the things, the tailoring that they was trying to teach me. These is all things they're trying to teach me that could have set me up immediately. Like I said, I had a friend who was there at college at the same time, and she went on to Paris right away and got an internship in Paris because she was very good at drawing. Mm-hmm. And I would say this: I had a teacher who was very good. He was trying to help me with something. I had our last project was we had to create like our own store, but we wanted to be in a store. And I had the whole time I was in school, I had a teddy bear that was my logo, right? Almost like a polo bear. You know, Polo got his own type bear. But I had my own style of a bear. And I was creating these and I had the bear wearing my clothes. And the teacher he came to me, he said, you know what? There's a lot of kids, a lot of people out here doing clothing. He said, but this bear that you have, if you can take this bear and turn it into a real teddy bear with clothing, you can start selling these. He said, I see it being very successful. Get away from the clothes that everybody else doing it. Just focus on the bear. I didn't want to listen to him. I was like, I'm not gonna do no teddy bears. I'm in it. See, I wasn't listening to the advice they was really showing me. I didn't do it. And I look back. I told myself, like, if I listen to what he told me, it was genius. What he was saying was genius. And I just didn't listen. I didn't listen. You know, being young, being early 20, 21, 22, we think we know what we want. But when the people come to the mentor comes in, they already been there, they've done that, they know what you really can. They're trying to push you in the right direction. And I just was hard headed and didn't listen. So there's a lot of things in college opportunities that I missed out on because I thought I knew everything.
But you know what? That's what I love about your story, and that's what I love about you in general, because delayed doesn't mean that you're denied, you know? So you learn those lessons, and because of that, now we're able to have this conversation, and help our high schoolers that are coming behind you, help our college students that are coming behind you, to let them know what they shouldn't do and what they should do. And then at the
Right.
same time, you still have an amazing brand, right? So we're just
Yeah.
navigating that journey. So now you're fast forwarding, you're finishing up college, you're in the workforce, you're making a living, okay? But you got this idea that you can't let
Hmm.
go. Let's talk about
Right. 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 Okay. Well, if I could be 100% honest, the company I have now, which is Joy Jano, our flagship product is rebirth product of a product I originally started when I was in college in 2005. I graduated in 2007, so in 2005 I came up with this idea. I'm not going to talk about the idea exactly because that's something I'm still going to come out with later on. But it was a type of T-shirt that was different than I called it a C-shirt, a comic book shirt. It was a shirt that I wanted to do some type of comics with. It had a different functionality to it. So I
it.
started that in 2005, but I didn't tell anybody about it for a while, for a couple of years. I just kept it in the corner because it was kind of ahead of its time, and there was nothing like it. I didn't really know what to do with it.
Wow.
Fast forward to 2015. I'm married now. I got married in 2011. My daughter was born
Awesome.
in 2012. 2015, maybe 2016. I'm teaching my daughter flashcards, right? I'm teaching her learning, and that's where the idea of Joy Jano Funny came into play because we spend every day, every other day, we spend a certain amount of time at the table with the flashcards, and I realized we teach her the same words or the same letters over and over again. Monday we on letter the color red. On Wednesday we still on the color red. So it's just a process that all parents go through. And I was like, I have this shirt that I had in the corner for the last 15 years. Let me go pull it out and me put a couple letters on it and just give it to her. So I gave it to her, my daughter, and it had the letters A, B, and C on it, something real simple. And then engage with her and say, my daughter's name is Noah. I say, Noah, what is this? What is that? And she was able to tell me with it, but I realized if I was not talking to her, she wouldn't even pay no attention. She didn't pay attention to the shirt at all
Mm.
because the shirt it was just another T-shirt. And I realized, well, that is not going to work because you still got to engage with her. And that's when the
Mm.
idea popped into my head that what she needed is a T-shirt, is a shirt that can talk. I said, if she had a
Mm.
shirt that can talk, then I'm not. She don't need me to answer her questions anymore. The shirt itself becomes the tutor all in one. I can just give it to her and I can walk away. So that's when the idea first popped into my head in 2015, 16 maybe, that we need a T-shirt that talks.
That is awesome. And like you said, you won't always be there, right? So you want to educate her. Now, the name wasn't always Joy Jano, right? So let's walk through that.
Correct.
So what was how did that come about? And how many renditions did you have to go through throughout your process?
Um, Several. It was several. I think the very, very, very first name that I thought was Prep. Prep T.
Mm.
PREP-TEE. And that was basically a shortening of preparation T, because the thought process was I wanted to create a T-shirt to give the kids that prepares them for the lessons ahead in life. That's why I got the name Prep T for, right? So the whole idea was let's give them something that focuses around early learning. The ABCs, the one, two, threes, uh, the primary colors, secondary colors, we throw some math in there. All things that they eventually kind of learn anyway. By the time they get to kindergarten, by the time they get to first grade, by the time they get to second grade, why not? Why not give it to them earlier so they can be? By the time they get to these grades, they could be advanced when they get there versus being behind. Because honestly, a lot of kids are behind in their reading and their writing in today's society. And I did
Mm.
the research study says that if a kid is behind by the time they reach the third grade, it's a high chance they never catch up. So the same kid, the
Wow.
same 12th grader that's reading below their grade later, reading below their grade level, was the third grader who was reading below their grade level. They never caught up. That's what the
Wow.
stats show us. So when I looked at those statistics, I was like, well, it seems like the way to cut that off is to get them early. Get them
Hmm.
early. before they embrace that, while they're in preschool, while they're in kindergarten, and let's help them there. And the problem arises. I hope I'm not getting in front of myself. But the problem arises. You gotta think. Well, why are they behind at that age? They're so young. Why are they behind? It's not that they cannot learn. Simple fact is, at that age, someone has to put the time in to teach them. So no, they can't go learn flashcards on their own. And so a mother, a dad, or a guardian has to spend the time to teach them. And that's where the problem comes in that. Because if the parent doesn't spend the time, then the child doesn't learn. And most parents are not spending the time, not because they don't want to, because they're too busy. They're at work, or they're tired when they get home, and they figure, well, let's let the school teach them. Let the school teach them. That's what they're going to school for. But the thing about the school system is that they got to keep rolling, whether your kid caught up or not. At those young ages, they just keep passing them through. Long as you get a little bit of it, we're gonna pass you through. And that's how we got some kids that fall behind the gap. And no kids that don't fall behind the gap have the household that's putting the extra time in to teach them while they're at home. And a lot of kids is not getting that extra time. And I thought about it. So, well, I think the problem is that those kids need somebody to teach them. Someone has to, because they can't do it themselves. So let's remove the aspect of someone having to need them needing someone. Let's create a product where they don't need no help, and that's where the Joy Jano comes in. That we just give it to them, and they don't need no one to be there no one. The shirt itself becomes the tutor. So that's how it all boils down to what this means and what it means to our society going forward, and how it's an innovative product that's really going to innovate early learning as a whole, because we're removing the parental assistance. We're removing the fact that you need somebody to help you there, because it's just proven that it doesn't work as effective as it could be. And we should, in the year 2024, we shouldn't have any kids behind, especially a third grader and a second grader. They shouldn't be behind because they didn't have someone available to teach them on time.
And that's awesome too, because it also, as you said, a lot of young kids are stuck on tablets, so it also helps out with that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Helps out with removing that. So let's see. So let's talk about the product itself, right? And I know that you've had various renditions of it. So how many renditions have you went through, and what did that timeline look like? I believe you mentioned how long did it was about 10 years from the it was 10 years from the idea into the actual final product, correct?
Well, yes, but yeah, I think about 19. The first idea like that came with my daughter in 2015. No, I didn't. It was when I first said it out of my mouth, it sounded outrageous. A talking T-shirt. It didn't really sound like something that was feasible. So honestly, it was just something that I was playing in my head for the next 5 years. I didn't do anything with it at all. I didn't actually begin working on it until 2020, because every time I would say it out loud, whether it just didn't seem like it was. It seemed like a big random dream that, okay, yeah, you about to figure out a way to make a T-shirt talk. So I just would say it and just ignore it. So in 2020, now my daughter's older. She knows what she knows, but now I have a son. My son was born in 2015, so now he's 5, right? So now it's like, now I got to teach him these flashcards. I got to do with him all over again what I did with my daughter. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not about to do this again. I remember how long it took with her. So that's when I said, well, let me try to do what I said back then. So I was like, let me find out a way to make a T-shirt talk that he can just put on him and walk away and go play. So that's when I started to actually put a product together. Now, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. Within the first month and a half, I had a working prototype. Now, it was an ugly prototype. It definitely wasn't what I have now. It was a big box, square box. I had to have black masking tape. I taped it on his shirt every day, and I actually would program. I would have to speak into the speaker myself and say something like, "This color is red, RED." That's how you spell red. He had to push the button. So, and I'll give it to him, and I'll show him how to push it. Now this time he's 5. I'll give it to him. Show him how to push the button and let him hear it, make sure he hears it. Then I tell him to go play. He'll run off, right? I'll call him back maybe 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and I'll say, how do you spell the color red? And of course he would try, he'll mess up. And anytime he mess up, I'll say, push the button. I make him push it right there in front of me and say, listen to it. He'll listen to it again. Then I ask the question again, and he'll get it. And then he'll run it. I say, you need to go play again. So what would happen was me keep calling him back and forth. He realized I'm going to call him again. So while he's in the room by himself, I'll overhear him pushing the button when I wasn't asking because he knew I was going to call him again. So when I call him again and he was able to tell me the correct answer, he'd leave and go play again. So what happened was over a 7-day period of time, I was able to teach him 7 different colors.
Wow.
Every day I would teach him a color and he would memorize it. So the next day I'll teach him a second color, but also revert back, ask him about the first color. And he was doing this off this one button. And that's how I knew we had a working product. We had an idea that was actually going to change. Now it took me 4 years to get it to this point because it took 4 years to make it look pretty. That's what to make it look like something.
Yeah, that prototype process is something.
Yeah, that was the hardest part. It wasn't even to making it talk. I figured that out a long time ago. The hardest part was to make it look like something they want to touch and play around with, make it like a toy. That took 4 years to develop that part.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about the product itself. And I know you have some different colors. You have a couple various components that go to it. So walk us through the exact product now.
Okay. Well, actually, I have a sample I can show you guys right now. So basically, we have it in red, which you see now. We have blue. We have yellow. We have orange. We also have green. And we're gonna come out with new colors down the line, stripes. And we're also gonna come with polo shirts down the line as well. But this is our logo. It says, as you can see close, it says Joy, and the word Jano is in between. And the reason I chose the word Joy, honestly, because this product is a wearable, so that no matter where the child is at, whether they're in their bedroom, whether they're taking a nap, whether they're in the park playing around, in a car riding, they're able to learn in their own environment. You don't have to pull them out their bedroom and bring them to the coffee table to learn these flashcards. They can learn wherever they're at. And if you allow a child to play, that is their joy moment. They get to choose what they want to do. So we call it joy for that reason, because they're learning in their own space, in their own environment.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what it is, it's a T-shirt that has a button on it, as you see. It pokes out a little bit, and you push the button, and it plays songs. It plays early learning, different courses we created. But what makes it actually cool about it is this: you can pop it out. You pop that speaker out, and we have additional speakers that you can put into which is different lessons. So the speakers are all interchangeable one with another. And what's on the speakers, every speaker only lasts for 60 seconds. And I call it I come with the term hyper micro learning, meaning that micro means small and short. So within 60 seconds, they'll learn a lot. This particular lesson here, we call it primary colors. Within the 60 seconds, they learn what the primary colors are: red, blue, and yellow, of course. But they also learn how to spell each color. They learn a rhyming scheme. They learn what a rhyming scheme is. And they learn how to count from 1 to 10 in both English and Spanish, all in 60 seconds.
Wow.
So it seems like a lot, but it's really not, because it's in song form. And we know, like anybody who hears a song, you memorize it by mistake. You don't realize you even learned this song. So we decided to put them. And honestly, this was my wife's idea to make it sing. Because when we first had it, I was just talking, and she said, "Oh, they probably need to sing." So I can't take credit for that. That was her idea to make it sing.
That is awesome. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it's important. We'll get into that soon. How important a wife is, right?
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, because I was definitely not having to think about singing. But now that they are singing, it's children singing the song, and it's children that's listening. So it's easier for them to actually listen to the entertainment behind it. And not only that, we on purposely put in video game sound effects. on the lessons behind it, because we want the child to continue to push the button, because when they push the button, we have the video game sound effects. We want them, it's a real entertaining type atmosphere. That's what we're really trying to create, the atmosphere of them in their room playing, but at the same time, it's almost as if they're becoming a character in their own game. So we gave some children, we gave some children a couple of these to walk around with and test out. And
Mm-hmm.
they push the button over and 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 over again, because it's to them is, they don't know they're learning. It's just another toy, and they're able to play with this while playing with other toys. They're able to multitask. They can play with their teddy bears. They can play with, if a girl, she can play with her baby dolls. A little boy can play with his GI Joes while still pressing the button at the same time. A couple weeks ago, I was at a friend's house, and it was a whole bunch of kids running around. I had two kids wearing the shirt. They was playing hide and go seek. You know, as every kid loves to play hide and seek. And when you can overhear this child pushing this button while playing hide and seek over and as soon as it ends, she turned it on again. So while playing hide and seek, she's not even paying attention to. She's not trying to pay attention, but she's learning while just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was intentional. I intentionally created it to be able to function like that in that particular space, without them having. Because the truth of the matter is, if you take let's take, say, VTech or Hooked on Phonics or ABC Mouse, all these other great companies out there who kids actually do learn from. All these companies are fighting for the same moment in time, meaning that, say it's 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and the mother tells her little daughter, her son, it's time to go study. They're gonna take them out of their bedroom. They're gonna bring them to their coffee table, put the laptop up, and then hit it. They gotta turn on one of these products. They're gonna turn on ABC Mouse. They're gonna turn on Hooked on Phonics or whoever. But all three of them companies are trying to get that same customer at that moment, right? So
Right.
what we did, what's so unique about Joy Jano, is the fact that it's a wearable and they could walk around them all day. We were able to be connected to them no matter where they are at any given moment. And the child gets to choose when they want to push it. And if they don't want to push the button, they just don't have to push it. But it's something they don't have to go look for. It's something that doesn't have to be recharged. It doesn't have to be plugged up. It doesn't have to be, mommy, can you do this for me? Daddy, can you do that for me? All you have to do is put the shirt on and go about their day. And we found that the kids interact with it more often because it's right there. Yeah, like I said, if you go, like they have a lot of other toys out there that actually teach kids things. But the truth of the matter is, once the child puts that toy down, it's a very low chance they're going back to pick it up in the same day. Then they might go pick it up tomorrow, or 3 days later they might pick it up again, but they're not going to pick it up in the same day. With our product, they wear it all day long. It's right there.
That's good. I love it. And it's an amazing product. I got two myself. I can't wait to gift them.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you being blessing us with your customer.
That's important, right? So it's not just let me get one of your products, let me get it. Let me have
Absolutely.
one. No, we need to continue to support. So everybody that's watching right now, make sure you go and visit Joy Jano, right? Joy Jano. I'll put it on the screen. 1 second. Here we go.
There's .com. There's also
joyjano.com. There you
Instagram.
go.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok.
I love it. So let's get into it too. So, what was the biggest challenge throughout this entire process, right? As you mentioned, it took a while. It took you about 5 years to actually take that action. And that's because you had your daughter, and that was, you were like, okay, she got it now. But then once you had your son, you said, I can't keep doing this. Right?
Yeah,
So
that was a pivotal moment right there. Him coming along.
you said, I got to take action. I can't do this. Even if a third time comes, I can't do this again. So you started, you took action. So how important was taking action in that moment?
I think it was very important, because it proved that, one, it proved that it's a product that is needed around the country, around the world, not just my family. It's a product that saves parents a lot, not just time, but also save them from feeling some type of way when their children are behind and people looking at them like, oh, you didn't do your job. It actually is very useful in the family itself. It's a product that I'm very passionate about, not from a business standpoint, but from a standpoint that we're able to make a difference in people's lives if they really give this product a chance and just all you gotta do is give it to your child. We designed it. We designed it to be a self-taught mechanism in the song. They don't need your help anymore. Now, of course, we're not saying that this is it replaces school. We're not saying it replaces the flashcard. It doesn't replace anything. It's just a good add-on that fills the gap when nothing's being taught. When the mom's too tired to teach, when the dad is too tired to teach, when the guardian, the grandmother, or the auntie, uncle just doesn't feel like doing it at this moment, instead of this child going without during those times, this is what we come in at to fill those gaps when you don't need to do it. It's built to sustain. It's built for them to learn their own time, and it's built so they gonna push the button over and over again. We took a lot of thought process and what's actually coming out of the speaker itself. Like I said, that's why it make it sound like a video. We made it sound like a video game on purpose because we want them to play it, be like automatically be like, oh, I love it, what's being said. Let me keep pushing it again because it's the sounds that's coming. It's not just 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 1 is it's not that. It's energy. It's entertainment. We did that on purpose. So that took a lot of creativity, and that took a lot of time itself of coming up with what's going to be said. And right now we have 3 introductory lessons, but we're coming up with new lessons every 30 to 45 days, and we're going to touch on different languages. We're going to touch on history. We're going to touch on social studies, math. We're going to touch on everything possible that we can put into these speakers as kids begin to get in the early learning phases, and eventually down the line, we're going to introduce lessons for older children as well.
That's great, and the repetition is so important. So, what has been the most rewarding moment throughout this journey?
The most rewarding moment throughout the journey is to see a child put on the product that you created and then do exactly what you thought it would do. The most rewarding thing for me has been when, not my own children, because they've been around it for a year, they see me work on it, but for a stranger, for me to, like, let's take for example yesterday. Yesterday I went out and I had a couple shirts with me, actually this one, and I was introducing parents to it. And instead of trying to sell them a product, I say, "Will you allow me to introduce your child to something? Would you allow your child to push this button?" So I had the shirt just like this, and I saw the little kid the button and allowed them the little finger to come and push it. Child 2 years old. She pushed the button and heard that sound come out of that, and immediately she was hooked immediately. She kept pushing it. And this is somebody I just met maybe 2 minutes ago. And the child said, she was 2 years old. She kept pushing it, kept pushing it. Then when it was time to leave, she tried to grab the shirt, take it with her. She didn't want to leave it. Her dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you one. He had to convince her to let it go. She didn't want. She was trying to snatch the product and started crying and everything because she really wants. So those are the most rewarding is just to see a child interact with it, to see them interact with it.
I love it. I love it. And your entire story is amazing. Your journey is amazing. And we were talking about, even though sometimes we are the ones maybe delayed in that moment, that doesn't mean that you're denied, right? So you were still able to bring it to life. So, what is your vision for the future of the business, of the product, of Joy Jano itself? What are the steps and things that you're hoping to achieve?
Okay, well, it's a good question. I would say Joy Jano Joy Jano is a brand, not as a product. This is just our first flagship product, and what that means is just the first product that Joy Jano is releasing. But we have plans and visions to create additional products, all with the same type of reason behind it, meaning that we want every product we create to make learning easier for children. As everything we create has to be beneficial to the child and beneficial to their guardian so that very little help is needed for them for them to learn the things that they need to learn in life. So what Joy Jano was trying to do, we're trying to remove the dependency that these kids need on people to teach them things that they have to learn in life regardless.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And when I think about it, so I just released the book, Success is My Video Game, because I think it's extremely important, not only that a child have that idea, but they begin to go through the process to bring it to life so that they can become successful. And it should become a video game. Sometimes high schoolers, college students, and adults, they get overwhelmed, right? They get overwhelmed by the entire process. But no,
Yeah.
success is your video game. I encourage everyone who hasn't gotten their copy of Success is My Video Game, definitely get your copy, because we want to eliminate the mindset that this is impossible. No, anything is possible if you believe in yourself, create a plan, take action, and never give up. You're not just playing just one game and you won. You're taking the steps. You're going to take the steps through other products. And you may be able to help others take those steps as well. And you're gonna ascend to new levels, and others are gonna ascend to new levels, right? So success is your video game.
As far as the success, we're not really looking for success as a monetary thing currently. We really want to people to understand the product that we're having, we're trying to release to the world, and to really grasp it and understand that what we're trying to accomplish and what it means for it to be accepted by the masses on a global stage, because we see it as bigger than what it is. Like right now, like I said, we have a great design. We have 3 very well put together lessons, but now we see it like every 30 to 45 days we come with additional lessons, and we want these to be released in Japanese. We want this to be released in Italian. We want these to be released in Russian. This is a global product, and it takes time to get it to that level. But that's what we see it as. We see it as being kids in Russia with this shirt on, kids and definitely kids in Africa with this shirt on. So we see it as helping all mankind and all children on with this level, because it really is a global problem. Like kids everywhere are not everywhere, but kids around the world can always use assistance in this thing. So success for us in this particular company is that's when it becomes successful. Once I'm able to see it across the ocean and see it in different places and see kids I just visualize, and I'm a visual individual, so I always visualize just seeing hundreds of kids walking down the street with our shirts on, pushing the buttons. None of them know each other. They're not in groups. You might see going Kroger. You might see 4 kids walking around with a shirt on. They don't know each other. He's with his parents. She's with her parents. But the society has adapted this particular product, and not the product itself, because we're just the first coming up with this product, but adapted the fact that the science behind innovative learning, innovative products that can help. AI and technology isn't going away no time soon. So we see this as a product that is coming at the right time, that we believe society will adapt, because it just makes society easier. It makes learning easier. It makes teaching easier. It makes tutoring easier. It's really, so that's what we see success as. Adaptability. If people adapt this, that's what our success. Just adapt it.
I love what you're saying too. And for those of you who are watching, right? So myself, Diamond McNulty, the worldwide mentor, I focus on success and helping others succeed. And as he just mentioned, achieving that goal, right? So you reached your first goal, but after you achieve that goal, it's ongoing. Why? Because goals grow. It don't just stop after you bring that product to market. No, what does it look like next? Just like he mentioned throughout his journey, after he finished high school, he was successful in completing high school. However, goals grow. Next was college, right? After college, next was their life. Then after that, what's your next goal? So it's an ongoing process, right? It's an ongoing journey that I want everyone to not get overwhelmed once you complete something and think that, oh, it's the end, now I can relax. No, you want to have fun throughout this. Make success your video game. And so what kept you motivated and focus during the difficult times? And what were some of those difficult times?
Well, what always kept me focused and motivated is my family. My
Mm,
my children are very involved in this particular product. You know, like I said, it was birthed from them. It was they are we use the muse. They are my muses. My daughter first, and my son. And the name Jano is actually their initials. JA is my son's first initials, and N O is my daughter's first initials in their name. So they're very much uh, DNA's in this product as much as mine, including my
mm,
wife. Like my wife, it was her idea to make the song, make it sings. So I think
mm,
that is actually one of the top pushers with this is just the family dynamic and how it helped our family out and what it means to our family and what it was birthed from and how we want to help
mm,
other families with the same type of had the same type of experience with it and how it actually is very 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 helpful. Like I said, I gave this
mm,
product to while I was still in the develop phases. My nephew's 6 now. When he was 3 years old, he was one of the first children I gave it to outside of my own kids. And no
mhm,
lie, within 6 hours of having it, he was spelling the color green and counting
mm,
from 1 to 20 nonstop. And he only had it for six hours, and he was 3 at the time.
mm,
So a
mm,
3 year old. Now before we gave him the shirt, he was already counting from 1 to 11. But
mhm.
once he got beyond 11, he would go 12, 18, 16. He couldn't go straight. Right.
Got it.
Once we gave it to him, within 6 hours, it was going 1 to 20 straight, and he never forgot it. He never because again,
Mm,
it was in the song. It wasn't just one,
mm,
two, three. It was in the song version. And
mm.
so yeah, so that's what I believe.
Well, I can't tell you how important that is, not only to have the family engaged, right? Because you're not only bringing something to life to help other families, but you're also inspiring your own children, your own family, to know that
Yeah.
dreams do come to life. You know, it's important for them to know that they can start with that idea. Everything begins with the idea for everyone that's watching.
Right.
Everything begins with that idea, but it's what you do with that idea that matters. So by taking action, your son next, he's going to say, "Oh, I got an idea. I can bring it to life." And he's
Right.
not going to be
Absolutely.
overwhelmed by that process. It's going to be fun to him. He's because he sees you day in and day out, never giving up, right? So that's important. Like you said, you had those difficult times, but you stayed motivated, and the family motivated you. So that's powerful. Mm.
Hmm.
Now, when you're looking back at your entire journey to where you are now, what comes to mind?
I think that the time from now to the beginning
Mm,
and what the next year and a half looks like. Like you said, just because you bring it to market, that's honestly that was the easy part.
mhm,
The easy part was creating it. I would say that because that's what I do naturally. Naturally, I'm a creator, so I can. My
mhm,
mind is always moving on creation. So that was easy. My mind does that. But now that it's
mhm,
created, the hard part now is getting people to realize you have a product.
mhm,
Speaking to the world to Pitts, look what I have that can help you. Look what I have.
mhm.
That's where I had to shift my brain now and leave the creative mode and into a different mode. So
Yes.
that's where I'm at now, and that's I won't say it's difficult, but it is a change in pace that I'm learning
Mm,
how to enter that phase now, which it's actually fun because it's not
mhm.
normal for me,
Yeah.
and while I'm doing it, I'm seeing how to find my own avenue in this particular part of the business, which is
Mhm.
getting it out there and getting the word out there and spreading it, marketing things of that stuff. Like creators like me, I'm a natural introvert, so I'm naturally
Mhm.
in the corner, wheels turning. You know, just coming up with something, thinking. And once I
Yeah.
finish it, like I said, once I finally finished and I got my last prototype in that I actually liked. I was I was so happy and so like, yeah, I did it. And then a couple weeks later, I had realized, oh, that's just the beginning. This
That's
this is
awesome.
step two. Yeah, this now
Yeah.
step two is now you gotta get people to know you have a product, and you can't just put
Yes.
it online and hope somebody find your page. That you have to really
Mm-hmm.
now you got to really now put another hat on
Mm-hmm.
to get the world to know you have to. Especially if you think you have a product that can actually, in a sense, change the world or better the world. Which I think that's something
Yes.
we have to do. We have a product that can better the society. That can better. Just think about this. If every child who actually gets our product and sticks with it and actually continue on our curriculum, continue to buy our lessons, if they'll take a child when they get to third grade, third grade is a testing point, and they're actually reading on their grade level, then we did something. That we made sure that
Mm-hmm.
they're not behind. We made sure they're not going to be a 12th grader who's reading at a ninth grade reading level. Because of a simple T-shirt that people may say, "Oh, this is a T-shirt, it's a talking T-shirt." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more. It's more than that. It's a. It looks like a talking T-shirt, but it actually is. It's actually helping your future down the line.
Definitely. And that shift is so important. A lot of
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and we're talking about that journey, they don't understand. They think that you can just be creative. No, you have to shift. And not only do you have to shift, you also have to be able to begin building a team of
Mm-hmm.
other subject matter experts that can help you along the way. So some people or some founders, they bring venture capitalists in, right? They bring venture capital in and to help them, right? It's
Yeah.
multiple. It's multiple ways that you can navigate it. But what advice would you give other aspiring entrepreneurs that are just now starting out? They had that idea, they've been holding on for a while. They haven't taken the action that they should have to become successful. What advice would you give them?
If I give an entrepreneur advice, I would say know what problem you're trying to solve first.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
I think I think if you're solving a problem with your product or whatever it is you have, if you're solving a problem, then
Mhm.
you can have a longevity product. You have a longevity business because people buy solutions. If
Yes.
you have the solution, then you can have a successful business. If you don't, I'm just not saying your product, your entrepreneur journey would not work if you're not solving a problem. It's just much more or less. It's just much more probable that it will if you do looking for a problem you can solve, especially if it's a big problem in society. If you can solve that problem,
Mm.
like Uber solved the problem of people getting around. That's why they're so successful now. You don't need a car to get around like that anymore. You ain't got to get on a bus to get around. Before it was a bus, it was taxi. Everybody trying to get on the bus if you don't have to. You
Mm.
know,
Right.
those taxi fees were so crazy up and down. The meter moving like this. So the Uber solved the real problem, and that's why they're a multi-billion-dollar company.
For everybody who's watching, remember to visit joyjano.com, right? Joyjano.com and purchase
Yeah,
your t-shirt, right? And then to touch on the last question, and I had to leave on this point. So you've done a lot. So how important was your faith in business throughout this journey?
very important. Very, very, very important.
Mm,
My faith in business is my faith that I can do it is actually very, very high.
mm,
Um, like I said, I'm one of my favorite things to do, honestly, is to think. I'm always thinking. I'm always trying to come up with something new. But
mhm,
to actually follow through and bring it to life was
mhm,
something different. Was some and
mm,
it was a challenge, honestly, sometimes
mm,
to keep moving forward. Because like I said,
mhm,
over the course of 4 years, uh, that there was moments of put it
mm,
down for 4 months, put it down for 5 months, and come back later on,
mhm,
pick it up, and did nothing with it for a couple months. So I had a couple of those episodes of the,
mm,
make an accomplishment
mhm,
and step back for a while, make another accomplishment, step back for a while. As far as
mhm,
even choosing what speakers to use, what company to go with, which
mm,
of the ring that holds the housing unit that holds the speaker to the shirt. Once we set up on that, because it's like it was the faith was very, very high as far as
mm.
keep me going forward because I
Keeping
knew
it.
what I had because I knew the ending. Like I said, when as a creator, you know the ending before the beginning,
Mhm.
right? So
Yes.
I knew what product I had. I knew what the idea was
Mm.
while I was going through
Mm.
the different phases. Now, while I was going through different phases, people only saw what I can show them, but I already was
Mm.
4 or 5 steps ahead of what I was able to show you at this moment. So yeah, I might show you a shirt today, but I'm already 6 steps ahead of that. You just can't
Definitely.
see it yet. You can't see it yet. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
So that's
I
what I
love
love
that too.
keep doing.
I love that because, as you mentioned, even though you have a couple products that are out, they don't know what's being developed. So,
Yeah.
like myself, when I had for Chef Diamond and Friends, we have 12 books out, right? We have the hat, the apron, all of the tools for the kids, but they don't know that we have 20 more pending,
Mm,
right? So it's having those in the background. Not they don't
yeah.
even know, and everyone thinks that you're done, but no, you're just getting started. So
Right.
that's the beautiful thing about it. But in and when I was talking about faith, just to touch on too, um, from 12 things entrepreneurs should pray for, I talk a lot about things that throughout the journey it could be challenging, right? So you want to continue to keep your faith as you're persisting through. You don't believing in yourself is extremely important, and we want to ensure that everyone's that's watching today that if you have an idea, right, I want you to understand the steps to success. Everything begins with an idea. After you have that idea, the only way that you turn that idea into a goal is through commitment. You need to commit to that goal. After you create that goal, then you can figure out where is that. Is it short term, long term, big, small, right? Create that plan, take action, never give up. It's extremely important that we start believing in ourselves just that little bit more. Just like today, you heard about Joy Jano, right? Where a product that was an idea is now to life and taking it to market, and it's going to be a global product that's going to change so many lives. It's going to make education easy, and they don't have to do much more than they're already doing, right? They just
Right.
have to
Right.
purchase the product, ensure that their child has up to date lessons, right? We want everybody watching to not only just watch this, but support. Go to joyjano.com, make a purchase. I
Mm-hmm.
purchase to myself, and as I always tell everyone, when the holiday seasons come around, Christmas coming up, don't just go into the store. Think about all the entrepreneurs that you're around, all those entrepreneurs that have spent their time developing these products to bring it to life. It's not by accident. They need your support. We need your support. For those of you who have those ideas, believe in yourselves. Now, Rob, is there anything that you want to leave our audience with today?
Yes, I'll say, like you said, entrepreneurs out there is to believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Don't let difficult times slow you down. Every entrepreneur that went through any difficult, that brought anything to life, had a time of difficultness and a time of thinking that maybe that this is not the right idea. They don't think about starting over with a new idea. Don't give up. Don't
Mhm.
give up on yourself. Keep the
Mhm.
faith. If you pray, believe in
Mhm.
God. Ask. Me on my journey, I prayed a lot. I asked God for help. You know, what I'm saying? I try to make God a partner in this business.
Mhm.
Like, you help me, Lord. I'll make sure I do this. You know, I do that. Like, I'm serious. So keep God. If you are a believer and you believe in
Mhm.
higher power, bring him up. Let him be a part of it. You know, ask him.
Mhm.
Pray about it. Tell him give you some dreams
Mhm.
while you're sleeping, and just keep
Yeah.
and just let him be close. And whatever you hear or whatever you dream about, just believe it as a sign from him and move forward like that. So that's what I did. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. No matter if it's 5 years, 10 years. Like I said, I originally had this idea in 2015. We in 2024 now. That was 9 years ago when I first
Wow.
talked about talking T-shirt, and I'm just now bringing it in the market. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about you guys together to hold one, give it to your child, and see how your child face lights up when they first push that button, and then how your face is appearing to light up once they start reciting back what they learned from the speakers. That's the real
Mhm.
joy in you seeing that this product actually is not just something that's to be sold, but something that's actually will change lives and that really
Mhm.
will change it, have your child on the right path of success, which you have to do very, very, very little help behind it.
I love it. Now, how can everyone get in contact with you?
Like, so you can go to our you can follow us on Instagram, which is Joy Jano. You can follow us on TikTok. You can go to our website. If you want to send us emails at support@joyjano.com. And those are the ways you can keep in contact with us. We really appreciate a follow. Like I said, we're starting to post a lot now about it. We're still new in this. We just got our bulk order in not too long ago, so we're just now starting to create content. So if you go to our Instagram page today, you see we have a few posts, but over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be ramping it up. We're hitting the streets. We're out talking to people. We're giving people feedback in real life, and we're excited. And everybody that sees the shirt, everybody gets a chance to touch it and hold it. All had the same response saying that wow, we never saw anything like this. We never thought this was even possible, and we believe that this is some product that all children across the planet is actually going to fall in love with. So if you have
I
a
love.
child, if you have a niece, if you have a nephew, if you are a grandparent, like I say, buy it for somebody and gift it to them. Right now, they're not expensive. They're only $25, and that's with the shirt and the speaker, and we sell them separately. If you already have a shirt, you just need another speaker. They $12.50 for the speaker, $12.50 for the shirt, and that's our price because we want it affordable. We don't want it too high if people can't afford it. We want you to be able to constantly purchase them as we're constantly releasing the speakers. As we constantly releasing the lessons, we want to keep coming back because like it's beneficial to the child.
That is awesome, right? So, Robert Cage, everyone, Joy Jano, excited to have
So,
you on. Thank you for joining us
thank
today.
you.
Everyone, visit joyjano.com. And remember, right, my name is Diamond McNulty. I'm your host. As we have the Success Club. For those of you who are watching that are entrepreneurs and you're struggling throughout this process, I want you to visit shopmcnulty.com and I want you to purchase 12 things entrepreneurs should pray for because this journey is not easy, right? As he mentioned, prayer works. You need to identify the 12 things that you should pray for. And I believe that once you know those things, you'll take action in those spaces. You'll start to build community, right? You start to have that vision. You'll start to gain awareness. It's a couple things that you need to pray for those entrepreneurs that are struggling or those people that are struggling personally and professionally. Grab Success Recovery. If you have a child that you would like to have create their personal success plans, we have Success is My Video Game on how to become a successful young man and woman. So we have the tools for our youth, for our adults to succeed, whether it's personally and professionally. We want you to succeed. That's why we're here. We want you to know that success is simple. Support Joy Jano, and we'll see y'all next time inside the boardroom. Y'all have a wonderful day. Signing
Thanks
out.
for
Take
having me.
care.
Right.